top of the morning to you, laddies. My name's Reynoldsman Buck, and welcome to the mod release, review, or whatever you like to call it. If you don't want to stick around, because I know some of you just want the mod, go check the link down in the description down below. But for those that are sticking around, this is the mod release of what is now known as the pretty much 2014 Ram series. We'll just call it that. This is the glorious series of how this truck has progressed. This is Blue Modding's original version of this truck. It was the 3500. This thing's been around since, what, 5 months after the game was released back in 2019. So it's had its fair share in this game. My version that you guys have seen that I was going to originally release is this. It is just a 2500 with some different rims and SRW back end. Some whatever. It was a single rear wheel version of the same truck. Same interior, and yeah, so the rest is kind of history on those. And then we got this thing. This has been completely torn down, pretty much down to the bone. We have a brand new interior in it. If anybody remembers, there's a guy on Facebook that did a 2016 basically hot shot truck, and I pieced together an interior for him, and this is that same interior. With that being said, it did lose the sunroof off of the one. You can still see it. It's kind of like the 2020s, just the glass is filled with paint. But we got a brand new sort of interior for 4th gen. We got the right steering wheel. Just pretty much everything's right on that. We have the automatic transmission in this thing right now. It is a Cummins 2500. Not beefed up, but the luxury wheels, bug guard, heavy duty grill, some commercial plates for the commercial trucks. We also have a set of farm plates, mud flaps, step sides, as well as some steps for the bed. And the biggest feature that comes on this entire mod, the beds are detachable. There are 5 beds that come with this pack, one being the regular bed. Well, it's 4 beds, but it's 5 beds if you count single rear wheel and dually. So kind of go into the store and quick show that. The truck itself is under the cars category, starts at $52,600. You got all of your design colors, which is your two-tone. You got a handful of colors. Main color, you got all that. Your grill color, that's basically the outside ring. Your grill inside, that's those stripes that are in there right now. Mirror housing, that changes just the inside housing up here. And then your bumper, you can either have a black steel, chrome, or color match. There's a whole lot of options. When I say this thing mimics the 2020, I mean that by full extent. The only thing that doesn't really get is like all the interior flippings and whatever. But this truck is error free. The only error comes from the regular beds and the fact that I had to toggle an animation together because I couldn't get the coverage to work. So I don't know if it was just something like a dynamic trailer whatever it is. Something didn't work right, so I didn't get the beds error free. But every flatbed, all that stuff, that is all completely gone. It's got 10 different wheel options, 7 single rear wheels, and 3 dual wheel wheels. I just went backwards on that one, but we got tow package 2500, tow package 3500. Those two share the exact same, but they have a little bit stiffer suspension in the rear of 35, and then the 35 dually that also has just a slightly stiffer rear wheel, but it puts on the dualies. You have the attachers, cycle till appears, and I should have taken that off, but this is the bed attacher that will basically decipher whether or not your bed will attach. So you have a bed attacher, that's what attaches the regular beds, and then you have a 5th plate. That is right. Why is it just a 5th wheel plate? Well, if you saw that thing and said C MISC, if you go to the miscellaneous, we now have a removable 5th wheel. I got this thing, was able to work. It slides back and forth and adjusts, so you can move that around. Don't even need to pick up heavy mod. It's light enough, but it still weighs a little bit. If we kind of come back here to the truck, though, we got a bunch of different step options, and some stuff works a lot better now. So we have mud flaps that engages just the mud flaps in the front. The only ones that do not have mud flaps on it are the single rear wheel old grandpa steps. These are only on the single rear wheels, and they do not have mud flaps in the front. But if you put the mud flaps on for the new grandpa steps, get your little mud flap out front. That'll disengage if you don't have it on. Everything kind of coordinates just a lot better. I ripped this code down to pretty much start from scratch. Not writing it, but just organizing it a heck of a lot better. You can have the grill stripes. I'll just kind of engage this since it's a little bit easier to see. You got the stripes in the grill, the mesh in the grill, the Power Wagon's grill, or the heavy duty grill. So you got that many different things going on there. Got a whole lot of stuff. You can have your CBs, you can have the one that sits inside the cab, as well as the antenna. You have your basic tube steps. We already went through the steps. Get your regular radio antenna sitting right there, or you can swap it up to a sleek one on top of the cab. Interior decor, that just technically puts the stuff that was in the old version of the truck back inside the truck. You got your grill guards. You got the original, the ranch hand that came with the thing. I just took off the bumper part and just kind of extended that out. And then you have the 2020s grill, except I flipped these things upside down and then took out the mesh in the middle. And then I gave it a chrome option, just a little bit better on how this runs. Bug visors, you got the black plastic, or you got the chrome one, which I think that one looks absolutely dope on this thing. And then you got your plow bracket for plowing stuff. A regular bed pipe, this is for your exhaust system. When you put it on the bed, you got a regular pipe, and then you got a flatbed pipe. Just it lines up better with the mud flaps when you put them on. Plates, you got the none, commercial plates or farm plates, and then you have a 6.4 Hemi, 6.4 manual, and the sad thing is that I tried using the real manual transmission, and that messed up stuff on the bed. You couldn't open up the covers and whatnot for like the topper and the bed covers, so I had to take that out. It does have sounds on it to make it sound like it's shifting though, so you got the 6.4 Hemi, and the 6.4 Hemi and the 6.7 Cummins, both auto and manual transmissions. But when you flip between automatic and manual, it actually toggles the manual transmission, and then you can also see down on the bottom, once you get in the truck, puts in a clutch pedal. So a whole lot of stuff on the truck itself. Come over here to the miscellaneous category, which is where you find all the different beds. Kudos to 82 Studios for allowing me to literally just take the bale bed. I had to switch an attacher, and I just put some mud flaps on it, but we got a working bale bed on this thing, so plates on this thing is about the only thing I really added besides everything else, but you guys have already seen that, so don't really need to go over those. This is a new flatbed that's gone onto the truck. You guys apparently seem to like it. As of right now, there's obviously nothing on there, so it's just kind of floating, but you have the most... You have mud flaps you can get in the rear or full. You can get your plates on the bottom, same thing as there, and then you go to the accessories. You get a toolbox on your left and just kind of cycle through. And there's the fuel tank, it doesn't do anything, it's just a visual. And then you just kind of cycle through until you find which ones you want. It does the exact same thing on the SRW, it's just a little bit skinnier. The attachers, this also does gooseneck, and then the fifth wheel plate, and then it goes to your drops, and it goes through all the other ones. The only new thing on this is I actually added a hitch that has a 5/8 pin that goes right down through the thing, so when you're hauling a header trailer, you're not hauling it with a ball hitch. Kind of a fun little thing there. Finally got one of those in. Surprised that didn't make its way. The SRW boxes is pretty much the same way as the cab of the truck. You just configure it, SRW to DRW. And then your attachers, it's all the exact same stuff. Just blah, 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 blah. You can cycle through there. The pintle hitch now does adjust. It goes up and down. But you got all your bed liners, and that either you can have the Line-X or it can color match to the whole bed itself. Kind of nice now. You do have a tailgate option between stock, fifth wheel, and none. So if you wanted to run a plow setup, you can do that. Steps, sides, we already went through all of those. Just the same thing, it'll configure there. The difference here is the mud flaps don't disengage with anything because they're on the back and the other one's on the front. Bed extras, you can have toolbox. You can have the bed whips. You can get the bed whips and the toolbox. You get the famous bed cover from the 2020 where it actually unfolds. And then a new topper. It's a little bit funky on the animation. I kind of forgot how to do the animation of like dependent parts. I tried figuring it out again, but couldn't get it. So it does open though. It's a really cool thing, except these two are on the same animation. So the topper door opens for like 5 seconds because it's on the same time slot as this thing. For plates, you have none, commercial, again, farm, just whatever that is. And if you have the stock tailgate on, you can either get that or the Ram badge. Ram badge color controls just on this badge, it either makes it chrome or black. I prefer that one in black rather than the chrome. Just kind of looks better. And that's pretty much it for all of those options. This is a very, very dynamic truck. I'll pop over and pretty much just buy the other beds quick, the SRW, so you guys can see that, as well as the fifth wheel, which that's actually in the bed of this one. Just gonna load this out quick. Put it all on. Load it up. I want to see it. There we go. Oh, and then you also have just color select options. This is just, again, pulled from David's thing. Kudos to 82 Studios on that. Man was a G for letting me use this stuff. Put on the gooseneck, because this one does not have one. And here's the sound of the Cummins. Pretty aggressive, I'd say the least. The gear lever does move on the truck when you put it in drive to automatic and reverse. It does shift up and down, so that's kind of a new thing that I've tried to attempt with. The manual transmission, which I'll actually just pop in and buy one of those quick. Might as well just buy one that has the attacher of the fifth wheel plate, so you guys can kind of see the hot shock version of this truck. So when you press X, that unfolds the bed cover as well as that top door. Your tailgate is now mouse controlled, and then when you have the fifth wheel selected, you can slide it back and forth. So that's really nifty. And then, like I said, it is detachable. Pick it up, move it around. If I can find it. There you go. That just makes it really convenient for people that really don't want to be using the fifth wheel. They can just take it out. A lot more realistic, as I would say. Move it out. There's the little frame. You got to work an axle. I think it's just loaded with some details. Some new, some newer. And the way this is designed is you just drive right between the axles. So there's the flatbed on it. Like I said, the fuel tank doesn't do anything. That's where I also was meaning the exhaust pipe has to be right. But that's where that sits. And then on the bale bed, like I said, I also just had to change an attach joint on this. Oh, come on. They can do it. Didn't hit that. Yeah, it's stuck on the one wheel well. There we go. And there we go. You got yourself the bale bed, which does actually function. So that is kind of nice. On the manual, I actually also just swapped it to a Hemi quick because I just kind of want to show that quick. On the manual, it's a bit aggressive because it's actually off of a Challenger's exhaust and a Charger's like driving sound, but it does sound pretty good, I'll say that much. And since this truck, oh shoot, I forgot to put the bed attacher back on it. But pretty much the fifth wheel, it doesn't mount in the exact same place because I don't have that bracket on there. But there's a bracket that sits on the frame and you can literally just attach it and it'll do, yeah. You can slide it back and forth and whatnot. That's not where it's supposed to attach, but it's kind of cool. But on the manual, it actually does. It's not synced with the run sound, but it does actually shift. So there's some new stuff that I'm trying to do to make this stuff be extra fun. The mirrors do fold up and down and they auto adjust to the back of the trailer. You just can't see anything on there because there's no bed. You can really see it on the flatbed. The mirrors do fold in and out with interactive controls by holding space and clicking with your mouse. Each hood does pop open to reveal full engine bays. You got a shaking Hemi along with a shaking exhaust. And on the Cummins, you guessed it, I'm surprised anybody actually did one of these, but you got a Cummins. So that's probably going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for checking this one out. Be sure to check out the link down in the description down below to find this truck on Mod Network. Hope you guys really do enjoy this truck, though, as the next one up should be the 2019 5500. I'm not going to do nearly as much to that thing as I did to this. This was just something that I kind of fell into / accidentally started doing. I might do a few extra things to that 2019, but after that it's Austin's Dodge, and then we should be good to go for FS22. I already got a handful of things lined up ready to go. Hopefully ready to, I'll just have to figure out how FS22 does the modding, and then we'll get to a lot more really fun trucks like these things. So thank you all so much for supporting me on this one, but be sure to check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You already know who is in it. I shall see you on the next one. This is the Rental Man out.